So I'm just trying to figure something out real quick here. Make sure this is working properly. I can't tell if it is or not. Hold on a second. Hello, hello. Whatever. I'm just gonna start the show. I'll fix the audio later, I guess. I'm trying to get the sound be not so loud on my stream, but it's staying loud, man. I don't know how to I don't know. I'm not sure how to fix or address that problem. So, um, what is up, world? Good morning. This is your wake up call with Justin. 10/22/25. We're live. We're here. It's a Wednesday. It's a hump day. We are halfway through the week. Man, it was nasty out yesterday. Well, it wasn't too bad out yesterday, but it was definitely cloudy and rainy. It was pretty bad last night. There's some crazy storms come through here last night for sure. Um, Hope everyone out there is doing well. Hope you're, if you've been following and watching me, I hope you've been enjoying the content as of recently, as much as I've enjoyed making it. So, um, yeah, I just today's stream. What are we gonna do on today's stream? I don't know. It's like the more, like I try to, um, it's weird. I found myself getting sucked into like the political stuff again, even though I know that like, both sides are on the same team. You know what I mean? Like, I know that for a fact. Like, they're all in on it. They're all buddies, even though they act like they hate each other in front of the camera and everything like that. But they're all buddies, man. They're all in on it. Um, there is no different sides, I don't think. It's all just one thing. I also believe that, I still believe I'm still a firm believer that like no matter what you are in this country, no matter who you are, what race, sex, religion, um, age, everyone is being psyoped and programmed into the system. Rather you know it or not. I mean, even kids are being programmed through movies. I mean, even looking back at it, we were programmed as kids through Disney movies on how you should act and everything like that. It was just different back then. Because like you had like Aladdin, you had Lion King. I mean, Lion King is all about finding yourself, coming back stronger, and um, becoming the champion of your family. Um, Aladdin, rags to riches. You know, lied about who he was and finally came out to the truth. And the Princess Jasmine liked him. And I don't think people realize too when you watch movies like that and you watch kids movies that are like prince and princesses and everything. It's like you realize like that movie is giving out two different messages at the same time to both sexes. It's just that you really don't realize it because you're watching the movie. So it's like a bigger picture thing. But it's like if you would, if you were in, if you were Aladdin in theaters, you obviously you'd have a theater full of boys and a theater full of girls, and whatever sex you were, you would get a different message, obviously. So I believe that's like a small example of how, programming starts early, and you're kind of like programmed to the system in a way. I don't even know. Like I was trying to think the other night too. It's like what are we? I don't know. It's more so like, what are we doing here? Like how we've not gotten past all this pettiness, all the infighting, all the hate. I just don't get it. But then again, too, it's like I have been watching news clips lately on stream and stuff like that, and I always gotta tell myself, this is a very small. Well, it's not small, but like it's not the whole population of the United States. And that's what the media has the power to do, is to make small groups of people or to make small scenarios seem larger than they actually are. That's like their thing. They can make, 50 protesters seem like 5,000 protesters if they wanted to. So, I've also, remember all that kind of stuff too, it's like, the news has the capability to make things seem bigger and a lot more dangerous than they actually are. So, and the more I start watching new clips on my stream, the more I start to realize that, because it's not like this is not like a political thing. It's not right or left thing. This is like a spiritual thing. I feel like, just for the fact that everyone's kind of lost the plot a little bit. Like everyone's gone on the funny farm. Both sides have gone on the funny farm. Well, I mean, once again, there are people on both sides who, are even-headed, calm-minded individuals. You know, it's only a certain percentage of those people on both sides are, you know, on the funny farm and like are just so far gone. I think that I don't know. They're so far gone. I think it is like a they've put themselves they've picked a side basically is what I'm trying to say, and then they're sticking with that side, whatever that side may be. Um, they picked it and they're sitting on it, you know. So then you gotta die on the hill. You're gonna die on that hill, you know, literally. I don't think that's gonna be a figurative. I don't think that's gonna be a figuratively uh, spoken thing. I think it's gonna be literal, you know. Like you pick a side, man. But pick the side of Jesus, Lord and Savior. So um, it can't be. I can't. It's a problem with me watching these things on stream and stuff. As I start getting sucked into this that reality in that world. Because now my news feeds and everything I see is just all political, all this stuff, and it's like, ugh, it's a lot. It tires you out. It wears on you after watching so much of that kind of stuff, man. It really does. Like, I really haven't watched the news or anything political in a while, and I start doing on streaming stuff, and I forget how much like wears you out and how much it takes out of you. It's just like, dude, it's so much. It's like, ugh. And they're just talking circles. And I believe at this point they're just talking circles around each other too. At this point, I don't know. It's just like someone has to give and change. I don't know what that's gonna be. I don't know what it's gonna take for people to realize that those kind of things. I think it's do I see yeah, I mean I just wish people would wake up and realize both sides are getting played to the coin, man. They're playing both sides, dude. They really are. They'll let both sides, you know, do their thing and like think they have a voice and think like, yeah, we'll just let them protest outside on the sidewalk, blah blah. But they're still doing what they're doing. They're still operating. They're still doing this. So it's like, no matter what you're gonna do, they're still gonna do it, man. Seriously, they really are. And they're letting you do that so they can do their job. You know, if if letting 50 people stand on the sidewalk in inflatable costumes on loud microphones while they belittle cops makes them feel better and then lets them do their job, guess what? They're gonna let them sit on the sidewalk and do those kind of things. At the end of the day, they still get to do their job. So I guess it's kind of like a trade-off, maybe. But at the same time, it's like, man, I don't know. Something's got to be done for sure. So I'm definitely against illegal immigration for sure. Just for the fact, like, it takes up resources and money for those who actually like pay into the system and live here their whole life and everything like that. So illegal immigrants, I don't think should be allowed in the country. It should definitely be a process, and it definitely should be vetted to make sure that no bad actors are getting into the United States. Because guess what, people? There are bad people in this world who want to do harm to your way of living and disrupt your peace and all those things, and I want to conquer and do all that. You know, I mean, I guess it's kind of, um, I guess we kind of missed the plot on that in the United States because we really don't do that much like that anymore, and it's so big that like, you know, I don't think, you know, our minds to conquer and do those kind of things kind of don't really exist in the United States anymore, I don't think. And I don't know, I feel like all the land's already been conquered already, and everything's so split up, it'd be hard to really do it. And then all the militaries are so strong now and stuff like that. It'd be like, good luck trying to conquer another land, really. Unless it's like a third world country. But then again, you'd be like, why the hell are you using bombers and all these bombs on third world countries that can't even defend themselves, you know? So it'd kind of be stupid for you to try and expand your territory, like try to conquer a third world country, because everyone in the world, like, what the hell are you doing, dude? They're defenseless, bro. Like, you know, you wouldn't pick on someone who's defenseless, you know? That'd be just inhumane and Um, Not the right thing to do, because I'm sure if that was the case, you could just conquer through diplomacy and offering money and a stable economy. I don't think you would need to conquer them. You could just do it with money. It wouldn't have to be such a thing. So, but that's just my take on things, though. And I always try, like I said, listen, I'm still learning. I'm still doing my own research and researching. And this is this channel kind of. It's just like me researching my own facts and my own truth, and you're just along for the journey. But I just research a lot of stuff. I love religion, old religion, history, current event. I like it all. So I just roll it all into a wake up call to try to find things on stream and find content on stream I can share, and maybe it will help someone wake up to the reality and kind of question their surroundings and what the perception of reality is. Maybe help them along the way, because there's a lot of things going on in this world. And I believe, knowledge is, like I'll say this every single time, knowledge is definitely power. I believe that's why the upper class in this world go to certain schools and certain pristine colleges, is because they have the knowledge to give you power in this world over people and civilizations, in a way of like, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying they have the knowledge and history to teach others how to do it, I believe. And then they groom them and then put them in politics around the world. And then wealthy families pay high tuition for their kids to learn this knowledge to become politicians, leaders, CEOs of large companies, and things like that. It's not the fact that they're like super geniuses and they're super smart and they're a different race or something like that. It's more so that they have enough money to pay for higher knowledge than most people do. Which, like I said, knowledge is power. So if you have money, if your parents have money to put you in school that has higher knowledge, which will give you higher power, guess what? You'll come out with a better outcome than most common citizens in the United States will, just for the fact that your family was able to purchase you high-priced knowledge. That's what they're paying for. They're paying for high-priced knowledge. 100%. And then they kind of like, but it's high-priced knowledge, but it's also like people teaching who know how to like use that knowledge and like actually teach it to you, I believe. Because it's like, listen, if you're going to one of these crazy schools and tuition's like $150,000 a year or whatever, and you're paying your kid to go there, I mean, obviously they're gonna be like, all right, we'll teach him everything and make sure he learns it, and all those things. So I also believe too that the elites in this world pay for high priced knowledge to get it. And I believe that kind of knowledge is only reserved for them because it's money. They put a price on it. They don't want everyone being that smart. Come on now. You can't have a world full of high knowledgeable people. If that was the case, we would have been out of this earth a long time ago if everyone had high knowledge. We would have been out of this earth whiles ago. I think people also misinterpret the word secret society, when literally it's a secret society. It's a whole society that's a secret. And when I mean society, I mean like buildings, roads, all of it. Probably even currency. It's a society, man. And it's a secret. And how would you live secretly? How would you have a secret society? Well, it'd be underground, wouldn't it? Away from everyone's view. That'd be really secretly, wouldn't it? Or in tunnels. I think people forget how powerful words are, and how like they hold meaning behind them. I think sometimes people forget that kind of things. What are we going to do on stream today? What are we doing? I don't know what we're watching. I had the JFK speech pulled up from that I wanted to watch that we watched yesterday on stream. I want to get back into the NWO video. Um, look at the news a little bit. I know someone crashed into the White House security gate last night in a car. I want to see what that was about. I know ICE raided the New York City Chinatown for illegal selling counterfeit goods. That happened yesterday and caused a big scene. I know that. A lot of stuff going on, actually, I believe. So, and the government's still in shutdown, which no one even cares about because it feels like the government's still running. It's like when Joe Biden was president, I would literally ask myself, like, who is like who's actually running the country? You know, because it's like I didn't see the guy ever. You never heard from the guy, and I was like, man, who's actually running this country right now? It makes you kind of, it made me kind of wonder when he was president, like, who's actually pulling the strings? Who's actually making the call? How is this even running? Because you never saw the dude, never once, really, barely at all. So I always found that interesting. When he was president, I always asked that question, like who's running the country right now? He ain't around. So, bah, 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 bah. We got 2 more days on YouTube, then we go back to Twitch for a week. I'm doing a test where I'm streaming on YouTube for a week, and then I'm gonna stream on Twitch for a week and see which one pulls it in. And so far, it looks like Twitch is gonna outbeat YouTube. That's just because I've been on Twitch a lot longer though than YouTube, and this is kind of I just started streaming on YouTube last week, so it's all just kind of starting to build up, and it's starting to build up a little bit, and I'm starting to get some kind of views and following out of all this, and I think, like I said, I believe Facebook is more for like conspiratorial things, and YouTube is for more like political, serious things, I believe, because I kind of like divvy up my videos between like, well, like yesterday, my videos were more like religious type things and more like spiritual type things, right? And those videos flopped on my reels on YouTube. But if I do political stuff and like political reels on YouTube and like current events, I mean, it gets way more views than Facebook. But I put my religious, religious, conspiratorial, spiritual videos on Facebook, they get way more views. So I got a feeling like Facebook is more of a like a spiritual, conspiratorial, religious type thing, and Facebook is more like politics, current events, and all those other things, and it kind of like more serious like documentary. I don't know. I feel like like I said, YouTube more serious, Facebook more entertainment. I would say probably. I think that's the difference between the two. Is like YouTube's more serious stuff and Facebook's kind of more entertainment. At least that's how I see it. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's how I kind of see the whole, the whole thing and how I kind of experienced it so far. But I could be wrong. I've only been doing this for consistently. Like I've only been doing this consistently and structurally and all those things. Just recently, really. So, with that being said, do we pick up the NWO video? Should we continue that one? We were well, I got another. Well, I have that one, or I have another video that I was gonna watch, and it was, what was it, man? Let me see here real quick. What was the video I was gonna watch? I don't like when old men yell at young women at rallies, dude. I do not like it, bro. I just don't like it, man. I don't know why. It just rubs me the wrong way watching old men yell at young women at rallies and protest. I don't know why. It just does rub. It just rubs me the wrong way, man. I do not know why, but I do not like seeing it, man. I really don't. Oh yeah, the secret. Oh, I know what it was. Nope. It was Manny P. Hall. No, it was Manny, not Manly. What is up, people out there? Come on. This guy was probably the Manly. Manly P. Hall, I guess, was like I believe he was a top Mason, I believe, of the highest degree. I'm trying to find the video that I wanted to watch though about that. There's so much to watch. I got so much to watch, man. For real. I'm not even joking. Where is that, man? That's also a good one. Yeah, Manly P. Hall, The Secret Destiny of America. But we will continue with the, I guess we'll continue with the NWO documentary, though, because that's where we started off at. I'm trying to get a series going on it. I already uploaded one part of it. I'm going to upload the second part, Watch Along the Day. Tomorrow, I'll open the third one up. We are exactly...
under the control.
All right, hold on. This is 46... We're at 46 minutes in this video. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. We're watching 30 minutes every day till we finish it. This is NWO Secret Societies and Biblical Prophecies, Volume 1. Oh, I'll just put it on my screen. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing here. I have this up still. I need to move this too, because I don't like how this is like up. I don't like how this is like there we go. That's better. Anyways, this is volume 1. Secret Societies and Biblical Prophecies, Volume 1. Leonard Ulrich. And it's about, basically this is about how, this is history right here. I mean, this is history, old history. Yesterday we went how America was founded by the Vikings, not Christopher Columbus, and how the Vikings landed in North America first. And yeah, it was a pretty interesting video. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Control of Lionel Rothschild.
Let's get to it though.
The South was to be a French colony given to Napoleon III of France under the control of James Rothschild. Lincoln's main problem shifted from slavery, which he outlawed, to how he was going to pay for the defense of America against the international bankers who were destroying it. Lincoln came up with a brilliant solution called the greenback. The government would print its own interest-free currency that would later be redeemable in gold. The bankers wouldn't stand for this. On April 14th, 1865, 5 days after the South surrendered,
Oh, the hidden hand of
Lincoln was
history.
shot by John Wilkes Booth.
Oh.
Booth was a member of the
the
Knights
Freemasons?
of the Golden Circle.
Knights of the Golden Circle. Never heard. Knights of the Golden Circle?
The monarchies of Europe, led by the British royal family, had been involved in the occult for centuries through the sponsorship of clairvoyance. The British royal family is deeply Masonic. The Queen's cousin, the Duke of Kent, is British Freemasonry's Grand Master. There is even a Freemasonic lodge in Buckingham Palace.
Freemasons open a lodge at Buckingham Palace, but the Queen isn't amused. The palace has no power to halt the formation of the lodge, but is determined to stop it adapting its chosen name and block from it hijacking the Queen's whatever ear. Use of the royal household title and any related symbols requires official permission.
Though the current Queen says that she is not amused at this, she and her predecessors were often Masonic.
Of course.
It is a fact that much of the European nobility goes back to various houses, especially in England and France, which link the lines of the kings of England and the kings of Jerusalem. Fiction occurs when this link is used to create a mythology which states that the British people, led by their monarch, are one of the lost tribes of Israel. British Israel Freemasons also believe that since America was descendant from Britain, Americans who are of British Masonic descent are also one of the lost tribes of Israel. On the back of the US $1 bill, there exists a Star of David, hidden in plain sight. The British royal family is more German than it is English. Queen Victoria was married to Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha. Under pressure from anti-German sentiment created during World War I, King George V changed his family name to Windsor. When Princess Elizabeth wanted to marry Prince Philip of the House of Schleswig-Holstein-Sonderburg-Glücksburg, she faced the same problem that King George did. Prince Philip renounced his titles and adopted the surname of Mountbatten. All 4 of Prince Philip's sisters married into the German nobility, which embraced Nazi philosophy.
Really?
Remember that Adam Weishaupt wrote more material on the Illuminati under the sponsorship of Duke Ernst II of Saxe-Coburg-Altenburg. Because Prince Albert was great-grandson of Duke Ernst II and consort to Queen Victoria, the British royal family are direct descendants of Ernst II. Since Duke Ernst II became a member of the Illuminati in 1783, it is not hard to see that the teachings of Adam.
In her letter, full details of which were published on the day inquest opened on January 2004, the princess wrote, "My husband is planning an accident in my car, brake failure and serious head injury to make the path clear for him to marry. I'm sitting here at my desk in October. Keep straight head up."
Weishaupt are being used by the British royal family today.
Crazy.
The British monarchy was involved in 2 wars with China over opium. From about the mid-17th century onwards, Europe had a huge trade deficit with China.
Over opium?
Europe wanted Chinese tea, silk, and porcelain, but China did not want as much of what Europe had to offer. This trade deficit problem was made worse by the fact that Chinese emperors demanded to be paid in silver and gold coin. The problem was solved when British traders began importing opium into China from India. Large areas of China became addicted to opium. The
Weird.
addiction was so intense that in many areas of China, opium was currency. The conflict between the Chinese emperors and British traders grew so bad that Queen Victoria sent in the British army to fight the Chinese army over opium in 1839 to 1842, and again in 1846 to 1860. When you are told that the British royal family's wealth is based on taxation, don't believe it. It could be argued that the British East India Company occupied India on behalf of the British Crown and its traders.
Opium?
Afghanistan is occupied today by coalition forces. In 2007, 93% of the world's opium production came from Afghanistan.
Why is opium so popular?
The 2006 Afghan opium harvest
Okay, hosted by Princeton University. 4 billion and 25% increase.
Was also valued at $3 billion. Ahmad Wali Karzai,
What's opium used
brother
for?
of Afghan President Hamid Karzai, is intimately linked with the export of opium from Afghanistan. He is also on the CIA payroll.
What is opium used for,
The
though?
Taliban lend the farmers the money. They are indebted to the Taliban. They have to grow the opium. Now the Marines, in their success, are in a sense a victim of their success, because now the population is, they have these opium fields, and we are tolerating it. We are tolerating the cultivation of the opium because we know that if we were to destroy it now, the population would turn against the Marines, and it would be a real security risk.
The Taliban finances much of its operations by selling opium, which is grown from poppies, which are right now being harvested. So here's the question. Why are American troops now helping Afghan farmers grow that
I remember
opium?
this.
Nick Schifrin reports from Afghanistan on a controversial new policy.
In one case, they even paid a farmer $1,000 after U.S. and Afghan special forces burned his crop.
If you can come down to the base or on my next visit, I'll make a payment.
What? I forgot. Okay, opium's used in a lot of pain medicine, so it's probably really...
The Round Table groups are the most influential and interconnected secret societies.
Club of Rome, Royal Institute of International Affairs, American European... I never heard of Club of Rome. I never heard that one before. I'm taking notes for my own.
In the Western world.
For my own.
While Cecil Rhodes did not start any of these groups, he was instrumental in ensuring that they worked together toward a common goal. In 1966, Georgetown University history professor Carol Quigley defined this goal in a massive work entitled Tragedy and Hope. One of the members of the Round Table groups sponsored
economic organizations, bankers, and politicians insisted that the old pre-war system should be restored. These efforts were concentrated in a determination to restore the gold standard as it had existed in 1914. In addition to those pragmatic goals, the powers of financial capitalism had other far-reaching aims, nothing less than to create a world system of financial control in private hands able to dominate the political system of each country and the economy of the world as a whole. This system was to be controlled in a feudalist fashion by the central banks of the world, acting in acting in concert by secret agreements arrived at in frequent private meetings and conferences. The apex of the system was to be the Bank for International Settlements in Switzerland, a private bank owned and controlled by the world's central banks, which were themselves private corporations, each central bank in the hands of men like Montagu Norman in the Bank of England, Benjamin Strong of New York Federal Reserve Bank, Charles Reist is the Bank of France, and something Schult of the Reichsbank sought to dominate its government by its ability to control treasury loans, to manipulate foreign exchanges, to influence the level of economic activity in the country, and to influence corrupted politicians by subsequent economic rewards in this business world.
Carol Quigley, who was given access to the secret records to produce what the group thought would be an internal publication.
As a teenager, I heard John Kennedy's summons to citizenship. And then as a student at Georgetown, I heard that call clarified by a professor named Carol Quigley, who said to us that America was the greatest nation in history because our people had always believed in two things: that tomorrow can be better than today, and that every one of us has a personal moral responsibility to make it so.
Mazzina and the Mafia?
Soon after Adam Weishaupt died,
Giuseppe?
Italian patriot Giuseppe Mazzini was appointed
Giuseppe
to be the head
Mazzini.
of the Illuminati in 1834. Mazzini became a 33rd degree Mason while attending Genoa University. The most important thing about Mazzini is that he formalized the Mafia. The name Mafia is an acronym which stands for Mazzini Autofizia Ferti Incendi and Everlameni, or Mazzini authorizes thefts, fires, and poisonings. With the wave of Italian immigration to America starting in the 1890s, the practices of the mafia merged with the Illuminati of America.
Crazy, dude. Who knew? I did not know that.
Next to Adam Weishaupt, Albert Pike is the most influential Freemason in history. Pike was asked by American Freemasons to reform its rituals. He did so in a Masonic handbook entitled Morals and Dogma of the Ancient and Accepted Rite of Freemasonry, published in 1871. The Knights of the Golden Circle, or KGC, was a Masonic organization dedicated to establishing a golden circle of territories between Mexico.
Knights of the Golden Circle, or History of Succession, by a member of the order. From 1834 to 1861. Hold on, what book is this again? Sorry, I gotta go back a little bit, y'all.
Mafia merged with the Illuminati of America. Next to Adam Weishaupt, Albert Pike is the most influential Freemason in history. Pike was asked by American Freemasons to reform its rituals. He did so in a Masonic handbook entitled Morals and Dogma of the Ancient and Accepted Rite of Freemasonry, published in 1871. The Knights of the Golden...
An authentic exposition of the KGZ.
Circle, or KGC, was a Masonic organization dedicated to establishing a golden circle of territories between Mexico, Central America, the Caribbean, and the southern states, which would officially sanction slavery. Albert Pike was associated with the KGC and created several spin-off groups from it, including the Ku Klux Klan. While he was Sovereign Grand Commander of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Albert Pike created his own office of Chief Justice of the KK.
House of the Temple. This is in Washington, D.C. Crazy. That's wild. That's the burial place of him, too, is in Washington, D.C. Wow.
KK. This is also borne out at the location of his statue, which is in Judiciary Square.
Dude, the founder of KKK has a statue in Washington, D.C., and no one even knows it, probably.
In Washington, D.C. Albert Pike is responsible for the flaming racial tensions that were the official cause of the U.S. Civil War. Now you can understand how the American Civil War was really about who would control the money supply of the United States, and that slavery was a secondary issue in this conflict.
Hey, Skull and Bones. I was looking at this last night.
William Huntington Russell was one of the more prominent merchants involved in the Chinese opium trade. Born in America, Russell did what most wealthy businessmen did during the Industrial Revolution: protect his assets from taxation by establishing a tax-free foundation.
Went to China, maybe?
The tax-free foundation that Russell and Company established based on opium revenue was the Russell Trust. The key institution of indoctrination that Russell Trust established was Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones was founded at Yale University in 1832 as a Black Lodge of Freemasonry. The odds that both presidential candidates would happen to be members of Skull and Bones is approximately 1 in 750,000.
That's a pretty good number, actually. That's not that bad.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go on.
I'm sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322?
First of all, he's not the nominee. And, look, I look forward...
Are you prepared to lose?
Dude.
No, I'm not going to lose.
He said, no, I'm not going to lose.
3 generations of the Bush
He
family
probably knew he was going to win.
Members of
I know
Skull
all
and
this
Bones.
already.
George W. Bush, his father George H.W. Bush,
I never heard of Prescott
and his
Bush.
father before him, Prescott Bush, were all members of this occult secret society.
The videotape provides a grainy
I've seen
glimpse
this, too.
into what appear to be the
Rituals.
initiation rituals of a secret society that's been around since
I was watching that video
1832,
years ago.
whose members have gone on to be leaders of Wall Street and the White House, the Senate and the Supreme Court.
They're sort of trying to scare the initiates, make them, disorient them, frighten them.
New York Observer investigative reporter Ron Rosenbaum accompanied a team of Yale students who shot these pictures 9 days ago. Rosenbaum's curiosity about Skull and Bones was permanently piqued when, as a classmate of George W. Bush, he lived right next to the Tomb, the group's heavily fortified home. From their perch, Rosenbaum and his cohorts taped the Tomb's courtyard. What they captured, they say, was initiates, known as neophytes, being forced to kiss a skull.
Ugh.
Then members performing a mock killing. It may look like your average fraternity nonsense, but Rosenbaum says it's not.
Even though it may seem silly to us, it seems to mean something to them, and you can't argue with the success of Skull and Bones.
It has been alleged by members of Skull and Bones that it was Prescott Bush who stole the skull and bones of Indian chief Geronimo and placed it in the tomb as a source of spiritual power.
Geronimo?
George W. Bush never apologized for his activities in Skull and Bones. One of the first things he did as president was appoint many of his fellow bonesmen to positions of power.
Huh.
President Bush
like
has
who?
tapped 5 fellow bonesmen to join his administration.
5 fellow bonesmen?
Most recently,
Wild.
the head of the Securities and Exchange Commission, William Donaldson, Skull and Bones, 1953.
Does that relationship forged with all this mumbo-jumbo and coffins and skulls and bones and all of that stuff, does that become, in some cases...
Well, first of all, it's not mumbo-jumbo, because we just watched a video of it, you idiot, so let's not use the word mumbo-jumbo. It really happens.
Anyway, stronger than family, faith.
Absolutely. You know, they say the motto at Yale is for God, for country, and for Yale. At Bones, I would think it's for Bones.
For God and country and Yale. The Watchalong dialect?
Georg Hegel was a German philosopher who came up with a basic system for achieving the goals of the Illuminati called the Hegelian dialectic. This system is based on 3 steps. In step 1, a rogue government will create the problem that harms or even kills its own citizens. This deception is known as a false flag attack. In step 2, a rogue government will control the reaction to the problem which it created by typically blaming it on an enemy or some aspect of its own society over which it seeks more control. This is why the term false flag attack is so named. In step 3, a rogue government will offer the solution to the problem which it created. This solution is typically a war or a system of regulations. The solution would usually not be accepted by the public had the rogue government not created the crisis and controlled the reaction to it in the first place.
Surprised, huh? Sounds familiar.
A government which seeks increasing control can keep pushing society.
Social change is guaranteed. This is opposed by. Oh, I see. This is opposed by originals. I don't know what that is. I don't know.
By following a
I don't know
series
what
of
that.
problems,
I don't know what that chart
reactions,
is.
and solutions which it planned all along. The significance of the Hegelian dialectic is not how evil it is, but rather how often governments choose to follow it. There has not been a major war in the 20th and 21st centuries that does not follow the Hegelian dialectic.
I believe that. Communism.
Though his family converted to Christianity, Karl Marx became a Satanist during his university years. In a poem entitled Pale Maiden, Marx wrote, "Thus heaven I forfeited, I know it full well. My soul, once true to God, is chosen for hell."
Jeez, dude.
Over time, Marx became a 32nd degree Mason. Karl Marx met up with German philosopher Friedrich Engels.
Yo, that boy did not care. He already knew. He's like, screw it. I'm going full throttle with this. He chose his side. He chose his side. He was like, I'm going full throttle. See ya.
Engels joined a revolutionary
Jeez,
group
dude.
10 years earlier, founded by Giuseppe Mazzini.
Speedrun his soul to hell. Holy cow. He didn't care. He's like, yeah, that's where I'm going.
It was Engels who would feed Karl Marx physically and intellectually for life. Marx published the Communist Manifesto in 1848 based on a draft from Engels. The manifesto was commissioned by the Communist League in London, whose history can be traced back to the Jacobin Club and the Illuminati. The foundations of communism are identical to the goals of the Illuminati.
No duh.
Karl Marx was always looking for money. He found it when Nathan Rothschild gave Marx several thousand pounds to finance the cause of socialism through the Hegelian dialectic. Marx wrote Das Kapital in 1867, which became known as the Bible of the working class. While his Bible called for the working class to rise up and overthrow the financial bourgeoisie,
He has a statue
Marx
in London.
evidently did not practice what he preached. In an 1864 letter to his uncle, Marx announced that he made 400 pounds on the stock exchange. Nikolai Lenin picked up where Karl Marx left off. Lenin admired Mikhail Bakunin, who wrote, "The evil one is the satanic revolt against divine authority. Satan, the eternal rebel, the first free thinker, and the emancipator of worlds."
Jeez, dude.
While attending university, Lenin became a Mason.
The U.S. Federal Reserve. We'll end it here, and we'll continue on to something else after this one.
Stopped by Andrew Jackson and delayed by Abraham Lincoln, the international bankers finally seized control of the financial system of the United States. On December 23, 1913, the Federal Reserve Act passed through Congress when most congressmen were home for Christmas. President Wilson promised to sign the Federal Reserve Act in exchange for campaign contributions.
Oh my gosh, dude.
This unconstitutional act
You son of a gun, you.
group of international bankers
You
to print pieces of
dude.
paper as money, which would
That's
be
the
loaned out
guy
to
we
the
blame
government
right there. Is
at
this president?
interest.
What president was it?
Finally seized control
This
of
is the guy we
financial
blame right here.
system
The
of
president.
United States.
To get campaign money?
On December 23, 1913, the Federal Reserve Act passed through Congress when most congressmen were home for Christmas. President Wilson promised to sign the Federal Reserve Act in exchange for campaign contributions.
President
This
Wilson.
unconstitutional act allowed a private group of international bankers
Mr. Wilson.
to print pieces of paper as money which would be loaned out to the government at interest. Leading directly or indirectly through their agents, the most prominent members of this group were J.P. Morgan, J.D.
Of course,
Rockefeller,
dude.
Jacob Schiff, and
Thanks,
Max
dude.
and Paul Warburg.
Thanks, Wilson.
Every member of this group was connected in different ways to the Rothschilds. The international bankers wasted little time in doing what they do best: finance wars.
Oh man, dude. Thanks a lot, Wilson. Mr. Wilson really screwed us.
And America found a way to ignite the growing tension.
100% he screwed us.
Anglo-American establishment.
All for
the
campaign
economic
money.
And cultural dominance of Europe. Most people know that the flashpoint of World War I,
Damn, that's
the
a
Western
boat
Front,
and a half.
was the
Holy
torpedoing
cow,
of
dude.
Lusitania on May 7th, 1915.
That's a boat, boy.
What most people don't know is how the operations of the Lusitania were
Dude, that boat's
engineered
huge,
to
man.
provoke this war. British intelligence broke the German war code in December 1914. This meant that the First Lord of the Admiralty, Winston Churchill, knew where every German U-boat was in the English Channel. The Lusitania slowed to await the arrival of its military escort through the channel. Churchill ordered the escort to return to port. The Lusitania was crawling alone through a war zone.
But people ask why we don't build boats anymore and stuff like that. It's because, dude, we don't travel by boat anymore. We travel by plane and car. back then, if you want to get across the world, you had to have a boat. Well, dude, to get across the world, guess what? It's gonna take a couple weeks on a boat that goes like 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour in the ocean. So, like, honestly, the boats had to be huge because you're talking about thousands of people living on a boat for X amount of weeks to go across the world. So, of course, boats were more prevalent and more popular back then. The only thing I don't know why we don't do anymore is blimps. Or not blimp. Yeah, blimps. Yeah, is it blimps? Like the cigar-shaped helium things, whatever. Because back in the day, they had a bunch of blimps in the air that would fly them around and stuff like that. Not airplanes, but blimps.
A private letter from Churchill removes any doubt as to whether he intended for the Lusitania to be sunk. Roughly 1,200 people lost their lives in an engineered event designed to start a war. The Germans claimed that the Lusitania was carrying arms from America to be used by Britain against Germany. 93 years later, this claim has been proven to be true. The English-speaking press, controlled by the Rothschild-owned news services in Europe, published the claim that the barbaric Germans had attacked an unarmed passenger ship. This ignores the fact that the German government placed warnings in New York newspapers reminding passengers that the ship would be sailing into a war zone. The best example of how the Illuminati bankers funded both sides of World War I was given through Max and Paul Warburg. Paul Warburg's firm of Kuhn, Loeb and Company was in charge of Liberty Loans, which helped finance the American military. Max Warburg's firm of M.M. Warburg and Company helped finance...
And back then, I'm pretty sure it was easier to control because there wasn't cell phones, there wasn't videos, there wasn't internet. Information was easily... I believe information back then was more easily controlled than it is now. But I also believe that people knew the truth more too. Not just like the truth of what was going on, but more like spiritual truth and like trusting themselves and stuff. So I don't know.
The Rothschilds were unable to control Russia because of the Tsar until World War I, when the alliance between the European and American bankers was complete. Jacob Schiff spent $20 million in gold to finance the Russian Revolution through Leon Trotsky, who was exiled in style in New York. Of the 384 commissars that were to make up the new Russian government, 264 had come from the United States.
Really?
When the ship carrying the men and materials for the revolution were seized at the port of Halifax by Canadian authorities, President Wilson secured their release by stating that if they weren't let go, the U.S. would not enter the war. Lenin, exiled in Switzerland, promised to make peace with Germany if he overthrew Russia's temporary government. He was placed in a sealed railway car with $5 million in German gold and was sent to Russia. When the elections were held in November 1917, Lenin's communists received only 24% of the vote. Lenin had to use force in order to represent the people.
Wow.
The United States stepped in with enormous amounts of food and relief supplies as famine gripped Russia while Lenin took control of it. This opened the door for American industrialists and financiers like J.D. Rockefeller to build the infrastructure of Russia. The net effect was that America continued to support the communist revolution. This support was extended as power was transferred from Lenin to Stalin in spite of Stalin's ruthlessness. World War I ended according to the master plan of the 20th century Illuminati financiers. They knew that communism could only continue so long as capitalism supported it. The financiers also knew that the oppressive chains of the Treaty of Versailles would be broken by a leader who would eventually rise up from within Germany. Welcome to the first round of problem, reaction, and solution.
Oh. That's where it ended off at right there. Yeah, interesting stuff today. I don't know. That's interesting, man. I have no idea where this is going to lead us, but we're definitely going down a history of everything. Holy cow. What else does he have? I mean, he has some other stuff on here, but that's like probably that's probably his best video, I would say, on his channel, is this documentary he made.
let's say you need some more coincidences to prove that the sheer number of coincidences in these cards are beyond coincidental. Okay, well, here we have NATO, Russia, and energy crisis. And isn't it interesting now that NATO, which is, as you can see by the card on the left, propping up the straw man of communism because communism fell under its own weight, because communism as an economic...
Yeah, this guy, I will say, the world is a stage for sure, 100%. I don't know why he was, what is ISIS? Okay. What do you, all right, that was that guy. I kind of want to watch next. Oh, let's see what this is. I want to see what this is actually.
We got this lady hitting cars.
Nick Shirley.
Nazis, they're abducting people from their homes and their schools and their jobs.
Oh my gosh.
Here in New York City, an ICE raid or an HSI raid just took place here in New York City on Canal Street. These streets are typically filled with counterfeit scammers. However, ICE or the HSI just came through here and raided and took some of the people away. And just a few days ago, a popular citizen journalist by the name of Savannah Hernandez came through here, showed what's been happening. I myself have even documented this once, as I was once attacked and my cameraman was punched by one of these illegal migrants that was selling goods illegally. And I just caught a phone call from somebody who said, you need to go run over to Canal in Chinatown to see what is taking place. And this is the aftermath of this ICE raid. A raid just took place here in Canal Street in New York City. They came in, you got HSI, looks like you might have ICE out here. And they have taken somebody. It looks like we got a whole group of protesters that just appeared out of nowhere. Look, we have people hitting cars. We got this lady hitting cars.
Wow, dude. Wow, bro.
Here we go. What the? They just raided Canal Street, and now you have a whole mob of people taking over the street. You have federal agents right here, HSI. There's a whole lot of illegal activity that takes place on Canal Street. So now, everyone's pissed off. Now these federal agents are just walking down the street all by themselves. There's no car or anything. What do you think about what's going on here?
Dude, they're getting mobbed. There was just probably 50 to 100 people that surrounded the cars and were banging on it. It's getting chaos. The agents are freaking out and pushing people out of the way. They're trying to...
There's no car. There's no cop cars here. There's no federal cars.
There's no cars. They're all on their own. Everyone's going fucking haywire.
Look at him. Look. I can't even believe what I'm seeing right now. The feds are literally...
That's crazy, dude.
Right now. What do you think about what's going on here at Canal Street? New York City, what do you think about this? How do you feel about ICE coming in? Feds coming in? Any response?
Come down here no more.
Keep yelling at the feds?
I got something for you. I don't think so. I don't think so. Feds come violent.
Dude, look at that lady, bro. She's lost the plot, man.
And there's no Fed cars to be seen right now.
Bro, they all need help, man. For real, dude.
What raids did you guys do? Back up. Okay. You literally have all of these protesters now. They're getting surrounded. And there's no federal vehicles anywhere right now. We're right here outside the federal court. Now everyone's chanting, shame, shame.
Show your face! Come on, what are you scared about? What the f are you scared about?
Now we do have one vehicle. They have feds and they got the guns, they got the snipers, rifles. It looks like they have one vehicle.
Damn, dude, this is wild, bro. It's about time, though. Sometimes we don't all this stuff, man. You can't just have people, yeah, I mean.
Feds are trying to move down the street. Yeah, people are trying to block off the streets.
You start arresting everyone, dude. Seriously. It took... That was funny. He pushed one person and like 7 fell down. Arrest them, man. Seriously, dude. Thank God.
They have one man underneath arrest right here. Thank you, thank
you. Yeah, I mean, he is wearing face cover. He looks like he's ready to do something.
Got his ass. Yes, sir, yes, sir. We have this arrest going on right here. This is just absolute madness. Support your local ice raid. What makes you so passionate about this right now? Get the f*** out of my face! Why?
Oh my gosh, dude.
They're fucking Nazis. They're abducting people from their homes and their schools and their jobs, and they know what they're doing is wrong, and they don't give a shit. Because they're heartless monsters.
She needs to.
People are upset. Look at it. You have
Man, dude.
here. They got rifles. Yes, sir. I got you. I got you. They have pepper ball guns right here as well. Now they're trying to go inside of the federal court building. Right there is the federal court building.
Wild, man.
Wow. This lady just pushed the bridge. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh.
Someone arrest that lady, please. Thank you. Thank you. She deserves it.
Now
She deserves it.
The girl who I was just barely interviewing, she's underneath arrest right now. Who's here? Who's here? Streets of New York City. Wow.
Dude, she was being unruly though, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now people are chanting ICE out of New York. How do you feel about these ICE raids taking place here in New York City?
They can go f themselves.
Oh, poor lady.
I'm a grandchild and the daughter of an immigrant. I don't give a f. They would
Yeah,
take me away if they
an
could.
immigrant, not an illegal.
Yeah, man.
Why do you have to worry?
It's not about me. I'm not worried about me at all. I'm worried about all my brothers and sisters here who are trying to be legal, who are trying to do their jobs, who are trying to work.
But they're illegal though.
This is not f***ing okay.
Arrest her too, please.
NYPD right here defending the federal building. The feds just went in. Now NYPD has stepped up. All the feds are inside. Now they've all entered into the federal building. Now you have all the protesters right here, and NYPD is right here.
Yeah, that's right. You're shaking. You gotta look at me.
I've seen you yelling at the feds. How do you feel about this?
Man, what? Come on, man. We on their ass. Sorry about my language.
Yeah, what do you mean by you're on their
We get, bro, this the wrong place for that. This the wrong place for that.
Jeez, dude.
Now we got this guy yelling right at the police. Everyone's just yelling shame.
Bro, that's right. Don't look at me anymore. Shame! Shame! Oh, shame! Shame! Oh, shame! Sorry, tough guy. I'm sorry. You must be real afraid right now.
No, you're upset, lady. Obviously. Holy cow, dude.
These protesters going after.
Are you upset?
You're calling these people lunatic liberals now.
Dude, I'm pretty sure they're upset, man.
Look at these people. They don't even know what they're arguing for.
Yeah, it's just...
It's really a shame. Most people aren't educated. Most people don't know how law enforcement functions work in this country.
He's not wrong.
It's a dear shame. If half these people knew what, our laws are of this country and how law enforcement acts and how they're going about this, they wouldn't be this mad.
He's not wrong. People are uneducated.
Problem.
Yeah. People are uneducated in this world. I agree 100%. It also doesn't help either. There's no, I don't know. They need to do, I don't know, the government needs to do a video to explain better the whole process and the inside of the buildings and I think just to calm people down a little bit. They should do I don't know. They should do something though. I agree with this guy. Education for sure, 100%. People are uneducated about the process, the facilities, what goes on inside the facilities, all that kind of stuff. I will agree with that. Yeah.
Right now we have 4 protesters. 3 of them have masks on. They're just yelling at the police.
Yeah, it's It's unexplainable to me. I don't understand it. You know.
Do you think this is a left and right issue, or do you think it's just a law and order issue?
I think it's a law and order issue. I think people don't respect the laws of this country, and this is the outcome of that. It's unfortunate. You know, we should support our law enforcement and everything they do for us on a daily basis. Yeah.
Why do you call him a bootlicker?
Because you give a way more of a about the cops than you give about the people. Fuck you, bro.
See, my point proven. Uneducated, they're just angry. It's pure emotion, zero logic from here. They don't know what they're arguing about. They have no idea.
He's right. It is pure emotion.
What are you guys arguing about with the police officers right now?
Bro, if the cops were here, I would beat your ass right now.
Really?
Jesus Christ.
See, that's a crime. See, that you know, if I was you'd be arrested, you know, but it's okay. I mean, that's, you know, it is what it is.
How do you feel about the feds coming through here in New York City today?
It's a little overwhelming. As you can see, people are not excited about this, you know what I'm saying?
Do you think they should deport people, especially on Canal Street, where they are selling counterfeit goods illegally on the streets?
Bro, you know I got no comment on that. I can't comment on that, you know what I'm saying? People got to make a living somehow. I don't know. I will say this. America was built on immigrants' backs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I will say that. You know what
I
I'm
think the raid took place today on Canal Street. There's some viral videos that took place there just a few days ago, and then it's been known that that's a place where they do sell counterfeit goods, and it seems like the majority are from Africa. Right. And they are
Holy cow, dude.
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
I hate to see anybody go to jail. You know?
And who were the people that went to jail? Well, one of the guys was actually a person who had been featured on this channel before, and he attacked me and my cameraman as we asked him what he was selling, as he was selling stuff illegally on the streets of Canal Street.
Bro, what's up? We don't do no fucking camera.
Hey.
Pushing.
Hey.
Out of here with that.
He and his gang then jumped us, and one of the men even punched my cameraman.
Hey. I will smash this. Hey.
And now that man is arrested, and he most likely will be deported back to his home country.
What's your take on the raids going through here today?
I don't know, honestly. They doing too much, respectfully. Everybody trying to make a dollar. I understand it might be illegal or whatever, but at the end of the day, people trying to make a living. And y'all coming out of nowhere.
This is one of the first ICE raids taking place here, HSI raid, whatever you want to call it. How do you feel about them coming to the city, the feds?
I don't know, it's terrifying. It's horrible and terrifying, honestly.
And what terrifies you as a white American citizen here?
It's for my other New Yorkers. Like, we gotta worry about everyone in the city.
What are you talking about, lady?
Jeez. This is a city of immigrants, and they belong here just as much as I
gosh.
do, if not more, honestly.
Yeah, legally.
I can see you're upset about what's going on.
Very upset. I went to all these protests, man. I've done so much just to stop this, and they sit here and guard them. That is why I'm mad. I'm not trying to say, you know, that guy in particular. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say we got to end this shit now.
And deporting illegal immigrants?
Keep rolling. This is a fucking snowball, and it's going to keep getting bigger. When do you stop? When do you say no?
So you're talking to NYPD right now, so
I'm talking to NYPD.
Telling them when they stop protecting the feds?
Yes. When do they stop protecting Border Patrol? When do they stop protecting ICE? These people are snatching legal citizens. We've seen this happen. This is not a precedent that has not been set. You know, we keep seeing these rights get fucking vanished. These are just wiped clean. Does it matter to you guys? Do you guys give a fuck about anything? We don't want to be here to piss you as an individual off. We are here to show you that this is not right. This is why you're facing resistance.
Does it concern you just because you are born and raised New Yorker and you're worried about?
I'm from LA.
Okay,
They don't get the bigger
I'm
picture
Mexican,
of things,
and,
though. They don't get how illegal immigrants is just like sucking us dry. They don't get it. I don't know.
Hate that my people are just being taken, legal or not. I'm a firm believer that no human is illegal.
Give me all your money then.
Nobody deserves to be snatched up by somebody in a mask and taken to God knows where. That's not right.
Specifically the things that took place on Canal Street, where they do sell counterfeit goods illegally on the streets. They don't pay taxes. Do you think they should go after people that do that?
They should be prosecuted in our federal state court, not in ICE facilities, not deported. You want justice and order, do it through legal processes in America.
Yeah,
Is that
so
fair?
Now if they arrest them and they go through the legal process, do you support that?
Yeah, but see, here's the problem though. If we built a jail to house all these illegals that are committing crimes, it would be more of a problem. Then you'd be like, oh, now you got a camp full of illegals, and now you're whole. You know what I mean? Like it'd be awful. It would be like compared to a concentration camp, full of illegal immigrants. That's why they don't do it. It would be more of a problem to build systems here to keep illegals, you know what I mean, than to send them away, send them back to their home.
I'll fight that too, but it's less despicable than what these guys are doing, all these f***ing cops.
There's no winning on that side, dude. They just want more and more, man. No matter what you do, they'll keep on taking and taking things, you know? So, I don't know. To me, it's just like, at some point, you gotta stop just giving them, I thought I got this off my, do not recommend this channel anymore, dude. Stop recommending Osmond Gold to me, bro. I'm done. What I want to watch next? I wanted to do, oh yeah, I wanted to do David Icke speaks out against digital ID. I want to do this one too.
The left is being manipulated by this cult. The right is being manipulated by this cult.
See?
And yet they have set the right at war with the left. And while people are fighting each other, they're not seeing that they're both being played by the same force.
It's true. He's 100%. Like I said earlier,
COVID, as you can see,
they're all being played, bro.
More and more people have started to grasp that this is not some made up as you go along system of control. It is actually very coldly calculated. And what I've been saying all these years is it's coldly calculated on a global level. There is a global network, what I call the global cult.
Yeah, people need to wake up and stop fighting each other because he's right, dude. They're playing both sides. We just watched a video about it, man. We just watched a video about them creating wars and them, you know, hiding behind the scene, pulling strings, dude. It's just, yeah, it's crazy. People don't see it, man. Both sides are being played, man.
And through that network, it imposes its will and its agenda on every country eventually, which is why during COVID, you had basically a global response that was the same. And here,
yeah, because the more people act out and stuff like that, they're gonna use that as an excuse for control and power. Like the more we act out as people, I know it sounds weird because it's like whatever, but like the more we act out as citizens and people, whatever, the more the powers above write laws and stipulations to control those things. So it's like they're almost like using us as pawns to create more laws to control us.
you now have, just by coincidence, all these countries now introducing digital ID. It's a global agenda instigated by a global network. And people like this guy, Keir Starmer, he's just a gopher. Trump is just a gopher. They're here today, gone tomorrow people. Whereas the cult network that's orchestrating it, and has orchestrated it through the decades and the centuries, is always there. And this is a real line in the sand, and if we allow it to be crossed, then what's the future of freedom? There isn't any, you know?
But there is no solution. There is no solution for that.
It's true.
Well, the solution is simple. There's 8 billion people in the world, I'm told. And the number of people in full knowledge who are imposing this is, by comparison, a handful. And what happens is...
He's not wrong. It's just a couple families.
People get sold belief systems, calculatedly. Belief systems, religious belief systems of all kinds, political belief systems, scientific belief systems, all of them.
It's all
psyop. Once
psyop.
you've got belief systems, it's like a
Puts you in a corner.
honeycomb in a beehive.
Yeah.
All these belief systems, all isolated from each other, all competing with each other, and then you play them off. And if you look at what's happening in America, it's classic. The left is being manipulated by this cult. The right is being manipulated by this cult.
100%.
And yet they have set the right at war with the left.
Yep.
And while people are fighting each other,
They're
not seeing that
what
they're
they're
both
doing.
being played by the same force. And until we realize that and put down the fault lines of division, agree to differ, but concentrate on the common threat, then we might have a chance.
Which would be
but while we're
globalism.
fighting among each other, it's divide and rule. And so what you've got, you see, in America, you've got the right in power imposing itself on the left and using the left as the excuse to take away freedom. This guy's supposed to be of the left, and he's using the right to justify the destruction of freedom. And instead of saying, well, he's left and he's right, we should be saying, what's the outcome? What is the outcome in both cases? Freedom disappears. Freedom of speech disappears. And if people watch the outcome and not the words, not the rhetoric, they'll see that actually, whether it's left, right, or center, they're going in the same direction.
Yep.
Should have like crypto, gold, silver, divide is what else? Which advice you give to us?
Well, I'm not going to advise anyone financially. That's up to them. All I'm saying is, while we're divided, systematically divided, they will rule.
Yeah, but government controls the money, so that's it. If they impose digital money, so there is no solution.
Well, that's the whole idea of the digital ID and the digital currency, is the complete control of money. But people just have to look at the situation and decide individually what they want to do. What I'm saying is, from the big picture point of view, we're being played off against each other.
Yep.
You know, and whether, I don't care what color you are, black, white, sky blue, pink. We're all in the gun sights of this cult, this global cult. And while we're fighting each other, they're laughing at us. And it's time to stop.
Because I'm sure they have a list.
YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
And false stories from phony sites.
Call for an uprising.
Around major news outlets.
Many people don't know the difference between something real and something created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore.
No duh,
dude. There's an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a good channel, by the way.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Utah looks to become the first state to run a digital ID. Now, don't get confused with the launching of what we've seen in some states where there's a digital license available for people to use as their actual license in their digital wallet. I know a lot of it can sound confusing with the real ID, with the digital license, but this specifically is a digital ID, and this is the first we're hearing getting approved in the United States of America. And it's important to pay attention to this on a state level versus a national level, because I've been warning about this herding mechanism in America.
A digital ID.
Where they are going to make red and blue states, and they are going to make your life so miserable that you will have to move to one of these states based on your politics or your ideology.
Oh my gosh.
For example, there'll be states that are pro-vaccine, that will have vaccine mandates.
No
which
way,
are obviously
dude.
going to be blue states. States like New York and California.
No way they're going to
which is
do
why
that.
you see
Really?
Florida pushing back against any type of vaccine whatsoever, making it a welcoming place for people who are anti-vaccine. That's why you're seeing a lot of the stuff going on with the Roe v. Wade. That was the point of it. There's going to be states that full out ban abortions, which would make liberals not want to live in those
They
states.
want you to pick a side, man. I'm telling you,
obviously
dude.
ban gay rights and gay marriages.
They want you to pick a side. It's about that time.
To live in those states. Everything you see going on in New York right now with the race for mayor in New York, where they're literally going to put in a guy who is openly a socialist, who is looking to turn it into a socialist state. These are all things they're doing by design, and they've been doing it since COVID. And Utah, it looks like it's going to be a test run here for the digital ID. Now, they've wanted the digital ID since September 11th. We had Larry Ellison of Oracle, who is going to play a pivotal role in all of this and is playing a pivotal role in the UK, which I'll get into momentarily. But they've wanted it really since September 11th. They've talked about it then, but first they needed to pass the Patriot Act. But since then, we've seen pandemics like COVID. The purpose of COVID was more than just depopulation. It was more than just getting nanotechnology inside of people's bodies. It was about a digital passport. Remember, they were talking about the COVID passport, so we could track and monitor who's been where, who has what, social distancing, contact tracing, all of that stuff was to try to scare you into
OG blood, baby. OG blood.
It didn't work. So we saw the government do what? Pivot. All the governments working together, because now all of a sudden, all the governments who once had a COVID problem now have an immigration problem, right? Which is why you constantly saw in the news every single day for 4 years images from the border of all these people getting through illegally, nobody stopping them from crossing the borders, getting you in an outrage over how Democrats were allowing them in, then them telling you that these people were voting without being actual U.S. citizens, telling you that your elections could possibly be ruined because of people who don't live in America who are voting for Democrats because the Democrats are letting them in. This is all psychological. It is a psychological operation to convince you into a digital ID. Let me show you what's going on in Utah and listen to how they try to convince you, because one of the other things they've done over the last 4 years
it's going to be about illegals
has
and
been about having your identity stolen online. People pretending to be somebody that they're not.
Just use your thumb,
you think
dude.
You're talking to someone, but you don't know who you're talking to online. You think you're talking to grandma, but it's really not grandma. You're sending money to somebody who's pretending to be somebody who they say they are, but they're not really. They're over in a cave somewhere or in a factory in Russia. This is all part of the SAP. So this is what's going on in Utah.
A big change could be coming to how you prove who you are. Utah State is considering rolling out a digital ID to help prove who you are in your online dealings. But with data breaches on the...
Well, I wonder if AI videos are part of that too, where they're going to have people do digital IDs based off AI videos so they know like what's real and what's not and stuff like that.
Rise, Jim Spiewak asks if this can be a game changer for your online safety and security.
Everyone is born with identity.
You control your identity, you should control your digital identity.
Christopher Bramwell, Utah's chief privacy officer, is leading the state's effort to create a state-endorsed digital identity
I'm glad I don't live in Utah, man.
Provide residents
Holy
with a
cow.
digital credential proving they are who they say they are.
So someone being able to pretend that they're me probably wouldn't happen. The whole point of state-endorsed digital identity is to give you control of your identity so nobody can impersonate you.
Bramwell sees initial uses
They're playing the long game. They're playing the long game because once the they're playing the long game and they're starting it now, because once the old guard of this world goes away, and I'm talking like my generation, people born in the 80s, the boomers, and maybe the millennials, but like once we're gone and out of the way, dude, all this is gonna be rolled out. I guarantee it. State IDs with this, like the new, like the kids today, when they're my age in the 30s, I guarantee you all this stuff will be so prevalent because they're more in that, you know, era, and they'll more likely fall for it than anyone else will, you know, because people my age and people older so they aren't gonna fall for this. They're not gonna, they won't fall for it, you know. But you give this a couple, you know, 30, 50 years from now, oh yeah, the younger generation, oh yeah, they'll do it. That's what they're waiting for. This is just I believe this is just the groundworks. This is the groundworks in this building stage of like the new digital one world, digital IDs, you know, all that shit you see on, you know, retinal scanners, all that stuff you've seen in movies. I believe it's coming in the next like 50 years, I want to say, probably.
PSA or verifying identity for
We're not there yet, just because
demand is growing.
we're not there yet, just because people live in this world, like myself and others, wouldn't allow this to happen. I don't think. That's why I'm saying that.
You just use an identity you control to log into services, and you don't have to worry about reset passwords.
Bramwell says once you
wow.
receive your credential, the state won't know when you use it, and it won't be tracked, but it would be stored securely in something like a digital wallet.
What do we tell people about why this will be secure? The security is our top priority, but most importantly, how do you recover when there's a security breach without having to do reissuance of identity to everybody in the state?
Utah lawmakers passed Senate Bill 260 this year, which laid the baseline policy that gives individuals the right to digital identity,
See,
but
the
not a mandate to
baseline.
opt in.
The baseline policy. It's a slow build, man.
Digital now. A lot of what we do, even in interacting with the state, is digital.
With AI advancing rapidly, Cullimore believes many technologies will soon require state endorsement.
Do you feel confident that what is in policy right now as we start to build this out is the most safe and secure? The laws and the parameters to establish its safety and the security and the principles of freedom surrounding that are getting put into place.
Jim Spiewak, KUTV 2 News.
So, of course, they tell you everything is safe, everything is secure, nothing is mandatory, right? Everything will be secured in a digital wallet. But what they really don't tell you is that all these data centers, why they're rushing to get these data centers up, is because they don't want you to realize what these data centers are for. Everything that's going to be stored in these data centers is every single thing you do online and every single movement you make in the physical world. Everything is going to be recorded by CCTV footage, and everything is going to be put into these databases. They're going to watch and monitor everywhere you go and put it inside of these databases that are going to have your own personal digital footprint. And when the climate laws come into play, well, things will just get worse and worse and worse, as I'll show you right now. So one of the things they talk about, again, is being impersonated online. I just covered this at the United Nations where they were talking about AI governance. They had this shill actor, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who was a child actor in Hollywood, which tells you all you need to know about being groomed, because all these actors in Hollywood who start off as children are groomed, and of course end up becoming spokespersons for the United Nations.
And that's why they're
Leonardo
famous.
DiCaprio, or some of these other child
You keep
actors
quiet,
that
I'll
we've
give you
seen over the
fame.
years.
That's
But
what it
listen
is.
real quick to Joseph Gordon-Levitt, again,
Seriously.
talking about how important it is for you. Your digital self should belong to you. And this, again, plays into the digital ID.
I know a lot of you here probably have a lot of good ideas about how to govern AI. I'll briefly mention the specific idea that I'm here to talk about. I'm going to dive more deeply into it later. And that's the basic principle that your digital self should belong to you. That the data that humans produce, our writings and our voices and our connections, our experiences, our ideas, should belong to us. And that, yeah, thanks.
Why is he? Not only that though, but why is an actor, trying to be an authority figure about what we should do? You know what I mean? That makes no sense. This is the digital AI. This is the digital ID state of Utah driver's license. That would look like. Ugh. I do not like that, bro.
Belong to you, as if it doesn't already. These are coming from all different angles. They're trying to hit you in the head and pummel you with this notion of every single thing that they possibly can to get you convinced that you need a digital ID and it's for the betterment of humanity. And they started off by telling you that you can opt in and you don't have to be a part of this because that's part of the game, until, of course, you get phased out and forced in. Just like how they don't even talk about how, well, a digital ID, well, what if you don't have a cell phone? Well, nobody does. There's people out there. You have to. Well, this will just force people.
Once again, cell phone is a privilege. It's not a right. That's also my other thing, too. It's like a cell phone is a privilege. It's not a right,
Out there who don't have cell phones, because not every single human being has one, believe it or not. There's a lot of people off grid who do not have cell phones. Well, they'll force them into getting a cell phone, almost like people who had flip phones. They were forced into getting smartphones. They will phase people out and they will force people in. And once they do that and say, well, you got to have one now, you got to have a digital ID now, we're getting rid of the physical ID, we're getting rid of everything physical, and we're doing everything digital. Then it turns into what we're seeing in the UK, where they say it's as simple as that. If you want to work in the UK, you'll have to have a digital ID.
You will all have issues in your own countries. But in Britain, it's illegal migration. And I suspect that may be the same in a number of other countries. For too many years...
Yeah, because you guys created the problem, dude. You guys created the problem, bro, and they're going to tell us what we need to do to fix it.
Because
Go eat shit,
frankly,
dude.
we've been squeamish about saying things that are clearly true. It's not just that it's not compassionate left-wing politics to rely on Labour that
This guy
exploits
pisses me
foreign
off for some
workers
reason. I don't know
and
why, but he
undercuts fair
does, dude.
wages.
I
But
feel
the
sorry for
simple
you,
fact that
London,
every nation needs
England.
to have
I feel sorry for
control
you.
over its borders. We do need to know who is in our country. Our immigration
Dude,
system
oh
does
my
need to
God,
be
bro.
fair if we want to maintain that binding contract that our politics is built on. Otherwise, it undermines trust, undermines people's faith that we're on their side, and their belief that the state can and will work for them. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
And then from there,
Wow,
they tell you, well, you
dude.
can't work.
That's
Guess what will
crazy.
be next? Will you be able to buy or sell
Dude.
or have food to eat? In fact, you won't be able
How
to
can
come and
how are
go
they
as
allowed
you
to do
please, because
that,
it'll
bro?
look a lot like life in China.
How are they allowed to do
right?
that, man?
Even school children in China
That's
using
what I don't get.
biometric digital IDs.
How are they allowed to say if you're living in a place that you had to have these things to work, dude? That makes no sense to me. How they're allowed to do that? That's some bullshit, if you ask me, dude. For real. I'd be pissed if I was in London. I'd be furious, bro. If they're telling me that. Seriously.
Forced to enter and exit the school by using biometrics, forced to use biometrics to buy their own lunches.
This is what's coming, dude. You guys are so distracted by the New York City stuff and left and right. That's what they're playing for us. Why everyone's distracted with civil discourse. This is what's coming. I don't mind watching that kind of stuff because it's kind of entertainment, you know. But like, this is like serious shit. See what I'm saying? The younger generation loves it. They don't even think about it. They're ready. That's what they're waiting for, man. They're waiting for all the old people to get the fuck out of here so they can start doing this shit.
So then you ask yourself,
That's what they're
well,
waiting
when
for.
the world looks like that, and children are forced to use biometrics.
That's what they're waiting
to
for.
Go into school
Old
and
guard
exit
to
school. Think
die.
about everything else in life. Think about you going and traveling, you getting on a bus, you getting on a train, you getting on an airplane, right? Then suddenly you start thinking to yourself, that doesn't look so fun. Life in China doesn't look so great, does it?
No.
And then you start looking at what could possibly happen if they implement a social credit system like they have in China, because that's what the plan is for the world, to have a social credit system. And that social credit system will be tied into your carbon footprint. So your behavior, where you shop, how you shop, will all be tracked by Big Brother. And of course, they'll use things like they do in China. You'll be shamed if you have a low social credit score. They'll put your face on billboards saying that you're not a good person.
Who cares?
And people will mock you and come after you because they're under severe mind control. And of
That's
course,
crazy,
from
dude.
there, you won't be able to board a bus or do certain things once your digital ID is in place, unless, of course, you decide to bend over for Big Brother. And no matter what Big Brother asks, you have to agree. If Big Brother comes to your front door and says they want to spend the night with your 3-year-old, you're supposed to say yes. And if you complain online about it, or you complain to others about it, because even if you're in the physical world complaining to people, they'll be listening because the tracking surveillance is everywhere. The listening surveillance is everywhere, whether it's a Alexa in your home,
Or your
you're out in
TV,
public
or your
and it's
cell
some type of
phone,
recording
or
monitor
whatever it
that's on a
is.
street lamp. They'll be listening
Yep.
to you. And if you complain,
And then they'll use algorithms to pick out certain words and certain pitches of voices and
about Big Brother coming to your door to sleep with your child or do as they please with you, well, you'll be locked out of your bank account, you'll be locked out of traveling, and you'll be mocked in public, just like this in China.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name. Now, the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. A score in the 700s is considered good. Around the 500 mark is not. For now, the number is a sort of bank credit rating, keeping track of everyone's spending habits.
Ugh.
I think being ranked is a good thing. A society has to have rules.
It forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary,
He knows
but
how
it's
it's all.
just like that here.
Where's
We're
the old
used to
people
it,
at?
And anyway, we don't have a choice.
But in an effort to keep all of its subjects in line, Beijing is taking the system a step further in 2020. It's aggregating data gathered by banks, private companies, and the state to rate if someone's a good or bad citizen.
By using the most data possible, the so-called big data, the system will play an important role in rebuilding a moral society.
He's the creditor of
The
the
state will go over every detail of a person's life with
That's
a
crazy, dude.
fine-tooth comb. Their financial situation, spending habits, career, even behavior on social media.
That's stupid, man.
Criticizing the government online or displaying outward signs of wealth is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit.
That's so stupid, dude.
Xiao Wenwang
I would,
is a model
dude,
citizen.
I would be like
He
negative
lives in
1,000, bro.
Nanjing, a testing ground for social ranking.
I wouldn't even
Married with
care.
a child, she has a job.
That's the
in a
thing, though, too.
retirement
People don't understand. It's like, okay, it's just like it's gonna go back and forth all the time. Cause it's like this is like, it's kind of like with trends and fads and fashion and like pop culture. It's like, people only like doing things for so long until someone comes along and does the opposite of what everyone's doing, and then it's cool that everyone follows that person. So it's like, this will only last so long until someone comes along and just like doesn't give a shit so much and does not care that they're cool about it, and then people stop following that person. You know, that's what's gonna happen, bro.
home, no debts, and she wouldn't dream of jaywalking.
It's a never-ending battle.
As a good citizen, I respect the rules of the road. If I didn't, I'd lose points on my social credit.
Don't follow people. Don't follow
Theory,
people.
everything
Don't
can be
follow the
taken
crowd.
into account in the social score, even the most innocuous errands like supermarket shopping. When Xiao Wenwang makes an electronic payment, her purchases tell the state a lot about her. Buying cigarettes would count against her. On the other hand, nappies show she's an attentive mother. Beer could indicate alcoholism. She'd be better off buying water. In this pilot city of 8 million people, there are only 18,000 model citizens. For Xiao Wenwang, there
Wow.
are perks to be had, such as paying half price for the bus.
Sounds horrible,
I get
dude.
discounts for all public services, even at museums.
Sounds like that sounds awful, dude. Like walking on eggshells all day long sounds horrible. That's like a feared. That is the maximum fear-controlled society I've ever heard in my life. The most feared controlled society might be China.
The library's free for me.
I don't give a,
Thanks to my school.
I don't give a shit who hears it. China's a feared-based society.
Good score brings benefits.
Can you imagine knowing that, like, if you bought alcohol or a can of beer or something like that, it would lower your social credit score, and then you couldn't do certain things, or and then you'd be blasted and couldn't get certain loans, dude? Are you kidding me? Go fuck yourself with that, bro.
People with low scores lose rights. The cinema names and shames people considered untrustworthy.
See? That's so
plastering
stupid,
their
dude.
details,
That's fucking fear-based, bro. That is fear-based, man.
even their addresses across big screens.
Fuck China.
It's a matter of principle. Those people have to be condemned.
Doing that to people like that, dude.
Those people aren't honest, so they have to pay the price.
It's only right to pay your debts. You have to blacklist those that don't.
Wow.
The Supreme Court has created a blacklist for so-called bad citizens, those whose ratings have dropped to 0.
Good.
On it are companies, but also 23 million people to date. Among them is this journalist Liu Hu. He got a little too close to uncovering corruption among
Oh yeah, he looks such a he looks like such a bad person, doesn't he?
Subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. He only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
See, dude, he looks like a bad person, right?
I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
It's so stupid, bro.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
Damn, dude.
Liu
Fear.
Hu is among a tiny minority of people who have dared to criticize the system, which some are calling a digital
Dude,
dictatorship.
all America would be in zero. Are you kidding me?
Because I think many people like me will be deprived of individual freedoms.
Mm.
And all of us will live with restrictions of one kind or another.
Yeah, it's fear, dude. Fear is the ultimate
After
control.
18, Yu Hu learned that his name had been removed from the blacklist, but he still has a long way to go if he doesn't want to languish at the bottom of the social credit hierarchy.
And of course, that's what hell on earth looks like. People will still dismiss it and say, well, Big Brother's never going to knock on your door and ask to sleep with your children. But if you ask a Democrat, would they think that that would be beneath Donald Trump? They'd say, no, I could see Donald Trump doing that, right? And conservatives would go, oh, please. But if you told them that it was Gavin Newsom or Joe Biden, Creepy Joe at their front door, they'd say, oh, yeah, I could possibly see that.
That is
right?
true.
That's why people need to stop being divided over politics, because it's part of the game, keeping you divided so that you don't see the bigger picture and see what they're trying to do, which is implement this enslavement grid, this digital enslavement grid, which only runs on a digital ID. And this is all about behavioral control, because once the digital ID is in place, they will force behaviors. That's what all of these big tech guys have been talking about, from Larry Ellison at Oracle to Larry Fink to Palantir and Peter Thiel and Alex Karp. They want to control your behavior, and they know the only way they could do that is with a digital ID, because they're going to force it, because it's going to force you into compliance. It's going to force you into saying.
I don't think United States will do social credit score just for the fact that, like, you couldn't do that right now, because, like I said, old guard in the United States won't allow it. The citizens wouldn't allow it. But I think a more AI surveillance state probably in the United States for sure, 100%, like tapping everything, tracking you through whatever. But I don't think, credit score in America, probably not yet, but like an AI surveillance state, yeah, for sure.
Things that you
and it's
never
already
would've
here.
thought.
It's already here. I mean, the surveillance state's been here forever. It's just a more powerful, a more upgraded and more powerful version of what they've already been doing. That's the difference. This is, at least.
In a million years you would say, or agree to things you never would have thought in a million years you would agree to. Why? Because you're going to be slapped on the wrist by Big Brother if you don't. You won't be able to live a normal life. You will have to comply, smile as they kick you in the nuts, because again, it's about behavioral control, and they tell you it, and they tell you they're going to force it. And the only way they can enforce it is with a digital ID.
Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And it's unimpeachable. The cars have camera.
Yeah, but who's watching you, dude? Who's watching this guy?
But those kind of
Right?
applications using AI, if we can use AI, and we're using AI to monitor the video. By the way, and the camera's always on. You don't turn it on and off. And by the way you turn it on, you can't turn it on. I'm going to the bathroom. Oracle, I need 2 minutes to take a bathroom break, and we'll turn it off. The truth is, we don't really turn it off. What we do is we record it so no one can see it, but no one can get into that recording without a court order.
Things are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're going to
Sorry,
be asking
what?
companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors. What we are doing internally is, if you don't achieve these levels of impact, your compensation could be impacted, okay? You have to force behaviors. And if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted. Behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors.
What we do is we use what legal scholars call predicate-based research. So we would look at you, and then we would go out and say, oh, there's lots of different things in your life that may be indicative of someone involved in bad behavior.
Then we were asked if we were willing to supply our product philanthropically, basically for free, and I was very in favor of this because our primary mission is, in fact, to set a global standard for the world for behavior.
We built PG, which single-handedly stopped the rise of the far right in Europe. We built Foundry,
which was used to distribute the COVID vaccine and saved millions of lives globally.
The central question, in my view, of civil liberties is how, it's not if the government has data, because let's assume the government has as much data as a health insurance company. It's how is that data being used? Is it being used in a way that's lawful? Meaning, do they have the right to use it? And is it being migrated into places it's not allowed to be used? We allow the enforcement of rules that the government ought to enforce. And by the way, my experience is they want to enforce, or at the very least know they need to enforce. And if it's framed in that way, then you can have what is the ultimate Silicon Valley solution.
So these psychopaths are hell-bent on behavioral control. The only way they'll be able to do it and force behaviors is with a digital ID, because you'll think twice about what you write online underneath people's videos that you agree or disagree with. You'll think twice about who you agree with online and who you disagree with.
So crazy,
You'll think twice
dude.
about what people you condemn. You'll think twice about everything. And instead, you'll just smile as you get punched in the face by Big Brother. You'll smile and you'll take it, because otherwise you won't be able to access your bank account. Otherwise, you won't be able to fly on a plane. And this will all only be allowed. They'll only have this
Who cares? I
power
don't fly.
over us if
Who cares, dude? I don't care. I don't fly on planes anyways, bro. Why the
we
fuck?
allow
Like,
a digital ID. And that's why the people cannot.
don't they already have that kind of with federal IDs though? Isn't like a federal ID kind of the same thing, where it's like you can't get on an airplane, you can't go into federal buildings if you don't have a federal ID? Like, isn't that the kind of the same difference?
Because from there, it gets even worse with the digital ID, because what they really want is everything that Palantir is doing. And that is getting you prepared for predictive policing, because they're going to tell you that AI is going to have the capabilities of telling them ahead of time who's going to be the next school shooter.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the next terrorist.
Like
in this
Minority
country.
Report.
And people will believe it because people are under
Ooh,
hypnosis. They'll say,
dude.
"Look, just
I
like
should
the
review
algorithm
Minority
gives you
Report
videos
and
that
do a
you-
movie review.
You don't know why you're getting recommended them, but you say, I like these. Well, that's because the algorithm knows what you like, and the algorithm tells you what you like. They'll say, look, just like that, just like we show you products that we know that you're probably going to like based on the other things that you look at. They'll say, hey, just like that, our algorithms can detect behavior online.
Yeah.
People looking at conspiracy sites like a call for an uprising, which of course conveniently they allow now to work without a digital ID in California or Utah. You'll say, well, then I'll leave because I don't want one. Or they say, not only that, but you also have to get a COVID shot again, or you can't work. Well, then you probably will leave, right? And then, of course, they'll play into the other stuff with the pro-abortion, because that's such a big thing.
If that happens, that ever comes to United, listen,
because they won't allow
listen,
women's right to
listen. I'm telling you right now, if that ever comes to the United States and they say you need a digital ID and a vaccine and all this stuff to live here and work here, I would say to them, I would tell them to send me away, 100%. I would say send me away to another country then. Seriously, I would, because I wouldn't take that shit. And neither should you. You shouldn't have the government force you to do things, dude. If that ever came down to that, I would just leave the U.S. I would be like, I want out of here then. Just find a different country. I wouldn't care. Seriously. Take me to a country that doesn't have digital IDs and vaccine mandates and stuff, and I'll just go live there. Put me on a plane. If it comes to that point, So that's what I would do. Seriously, if it came to that, I would tell them get me up the first plane ticket out of here. If it got to that point. I need to do a review of Minority Report though, because this is basically what they're saying, and I guess these would be the AI then. That would be the AI, like the AI would be the whatever this is.
Okay, Jad, what's coming? Double homicide, one male, one female. Killer's male, white, 40s.
Set up a perimeter and tell them we're en route. I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Marks.
Give the man his hat.
Yeah, the future murder
can be seen. All we have to run on are the images that they produce.
We see what they see. There hasn't been a murder in 6 years. There's nothing wrong with the system. It is perfect. I agree.
Murder can be stopped.
Tell me exactly what it is you're looking for.
Flaws. You ever get any false positives?
We are arresting individuals who have broken no law.
But they will.
The fact that you prevent it from happening doesn't change the fact that it was going to happen.
The system can't be wrong.
You say something, Chief?
No. You're in a lot of trouble, John. I have a warrant in my pocket that says murder.
Wow.
Don't run.
You don't have to chase me.
From 20th Century Fox.
He set me up. He set me up!
And DreamWorks Pictures.
Who's the victim? I've never heard of him, but I'm supposed to kill him in less than 36 hours.
He's gonna get her. Tom Cruise.
I need your help. If you contain information, I need to know how to get at it.
in a Steven Spielberg film.
I have to know. I have to find out.
Dude, I need to watch this movie again. Minority Report.
Set this up. I don't know. How about now?
On June 21st, everybody runs.
I mean, I imagine this is what this movie was about, was coming, or Steven Spielberg had information about the system and then made a movie about it, you know, because he's in the higher group of society. But I am see, my report tried to ruin you. But I am done for the day. I think I get my day going. I go to the gym. I go to the gym, work out, clean the house. My cousin from out of town is coming over for dinner tonight and stuff like that. So I need to get going, get things going. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. Until next time.